Hello everyone, this is Dee, and yes, I'm back again. So today I decided that I was going to do something different for Matters of the Heart because I'm typically when I do any of my little episodes, whether it's Matters of the Heart, whether it's flippers, floppers, whether it's truth or lies, I always do a script because when I writing it down helps me to structure what I'm going to say and to keep myself on track so I can cover all of my points and be able to move on. Some people are blessed with the gift of gab, and that's a good gift. I mean, really, it is. It's good to be able to talk to people. But sometimes the gift of gab is not a good gift when you're talking to people and you're talking their ear off and you're not getting to the point. So I decided to do something a little bit different. This is kind of like a Matters of the Heart off the cuff or uncut because I'm doing this organically and I'm not going to use a script. I'm going to try to speak to the heart of the people who are listening to me. I'm going to tell you my truth, my struggles, and I want to share that with you in the hopes that you'll in turn share your truth and your struggles with me. So the last Matters of the Heart episode that I did, it was on Cardi B and Nicki Minaj, basically saying that these two young ladies are queens and it's time out for the beef. They don't have to beef with each other. But, really and truthfully, they're beefing with each other because of the world that we live in. It tries to put down black women and make us feel like we can't rise above, the mess that society has created for us. This Matters of the Heart, I want to talk about another Matters of the Heart that I did. I talked about the storm, about tornadoes. And I went into the explanation, the breakdown of what tornadoes mean and how a tornado in your dreams can signify that major change is about to occur in your life. Today, I want to talk about, forgiving yourself so that you can move on to the next level of your life. I don't know about anybody else, but I know me well. And over the years, I have literally beaten myself up. Spiritually, emotionally, and physically, I have whooped my own ass. And I know that sounds funny, and I know it sounds strange to say it like that, but it's true. When I was young, I was such a free-spirited person. Now, I've always been a person who likes to structure things and likes to accomplish things, but my mind was free. My heart was free, and it was both my mind and my heart were unburdened by the cares of this world or the cares of life. I was able to create things without any idea of how I was going to create it. I would just start working on stuff. I tried to, create my own line of clothes. Why did I do that? Because I just felt like it's something that needed to be done. I would all the time I would sit around and come up with all these different ideas, and a couple of years later, some company would invent something and put it out on the market and make millions of dollars. And it was an idea that I originally came up with when I was like 11, 12, or 13. It's funny because as a child, our minds are so full of potential and possibility. We can see ourselves doing anything. And then we go through the hardships of life and we forget that we are so blessed. And we forget that we are so talented. And we forget that we have everything we need to succeed in us. Because we're told by society, you can't do this, you can't do that. We're told even by our family members, you can't do this and you can't do that. And so at some point in time, we begin to tell ourselves, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't accomplish that. But I'm here to tell you today that is a lie. I have spent the past 25 years fighting myself, kicking my own ass. I started out fighting myself because I tried to live according to other people's rules. I was told you're not going to be able to be a business owner. So you need to get whatever little job you can get and try to stay on that job. I spent the first 17 years of my work life working as a CNA off and on and working in different lower level jobs, but I always managed to keep a job because I knew that if I was going to get anything, I had to work for it. I knew wasn't nobody going to give me nothing. Things are different now. These kids, my daughter right now drives my car. My daughter drives my car. Not only does my daughter drive my car, her boyfriend drives my car back and forth to work. The car that I bought and paid for brand new. When I was her age, when I was 26, man, I couldn't even pay somebody to let me drive that car. They would look at me like I lost all of my mind. They'd be like, what? Drive my car? Girl, you done lost your mind. You might get cussed out. No, you gonna get cussed out. People didn't play like that. You barely could pay somebody to take you where you wanted to go, let alone somebody give you the keys to their car and tell you can drive their car. I got that car new off the car lot. And have had that car for a couple of years. I'm driving an SUV, but my SUV is not as new as the new car. I mean, they're around the same age. I ain't driving no beat ups, but I do nice things for myself. But it's just the whole point. Things have changed. When we were told that we couldn't do, and you keep getting told what you can't do, at some point in time, you start accepting the fact that you can't do a thing. I can remember from the time when I was 5 years old, I would look in those Encyclopedia Britannicas that my grandmother had, and I could see all of those different lands and different countries. I even remember when I was 5 years old, I remember looking in, oh God, y'all forgive me, somebody's trying to talk to me. But anyway, I remember looking in the National Geographic magazines, and they would show all of these amazing places. And I remember thinking to myself, man, I want to go there. I want to see that all these different colors, different people, beautiful scenery. I wanted to go there so bad. But people would tell me, you're not going to be able to go. Girl, I wouldn't fly because that plane might fall. You ain't going to get me in no airplane. I cannot tell you the number of times somebody dissuaded me from wanting to do something bigger and better than myself when I was a child. When I became a young adult, I still had that mindset I wanted to go. I wanted to go to Mexico. My sister was dating a guy from Mexico. And the only reason I didn't go is because I didn't know how to speak Spanish. And I wasn't finna go to no country where I couldn't understand what they were saying. Because you might be talking about you want to eat me. You might be talking about you want to sell me. I want to know what you're talking about. I'm not finna just go somewhere and I don't know what you're saying. So that was legitimate. That was a legitimate thing because, as we can see today, human trafficking is horrible. And back then I had sense enough to say, nah, I don't want to go to a whole nother country and I don't know what these people are saying because I don't know what they could be plotting. Back then I was thickums and I was bing, bing, bang. So, hey, these men, I wasn't trying to put myself in a position where they were finna use me up and mess me up. So I think that was actually quite smart of me to not just want to, just bust out and go to Mexico, not understanding, the laws of the country, not understanding the language, not knowing if this guy that my sister was dating was a legitimate dude or if he was trying to, hook two fine black females, young thoroughbreds, and take them back to his country and do some nefarious stuff with us. I didn't know what he was trying to do, but that inner sense in me told me, no, that's not a smart thing to do. So I thank God for that. But once I got to a certain point in my life and I was working real hard, making money, doing whatever, I wanted to travel. And I used to tell my sisters, and my friend, if y'all just come with me, I'll take care of the traveling fees. Y'all just bring a little spending money, because it doesn't make any sense for me to take you to pay for the room and pay for the gas for us to go, and then you not bring you some spending money. I shouldn't have to, give you my spending money too. So, I would try to encourage my sisters, my two sisters, and two of my three sisters, and my my friends. I would be trying to, convince them, hey, let's go on a road trip. Let's go to New Jersey. Let's go to New York. Because back then, I had friends. I would meet guys, and they'd be like, girl, you come up here, we'll treat you, da 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 da. And I was one of those, like, okay, if you gonna treat me, I'm coming, Man, when I tell you, my family members, they were trash. They were just straight garbage. I would offer to pay for us to go on a road trip, and these wenches would back out every time. Now, they'll hang around here in town, getting drunk, getting high, hanging out with these Negroes that wasn't about nothing. But when it came to getting on the road, going on a road trip, driving to California, driving to Canada, driving to New York, New Jersey, because, we're from the South, they didn't want to do that kind of stuff. They didn't want to do the adventurous stuff where you get to go to New York and go shopping, have fun. They didn't want to do that. And I'm just like, really? What the heck? I had sense enough to know it's not a good idea for you to go by yourself. You need to go with someone. But I didn't have anyone to go with because everybody was always on some BS. So that was in my 20s and my late 20s, early 30s. I always kept a decent job. I always made good money. And even if I didn't have a decent job, hey, I wasn't no slob. I would work overtime, baby. I'll never forget when I worked as a CNA in Arkansas, where the pay for CNAs is low. I think Louisiana's pay is a little bit lower than Arkansas, but at that time, I remember I would get my paycheck and people be like, ooh, I need to get a loan from you because I know you got bank. And they weren't lying, because I would go to, I never forget, I went to Wells Fargo once to cash a paycheck, and they looked at me like I was crazy and like I done did something wrong. I never forget. That woman made me so mad. I went to go cash my paycheck. She looked at me like it was something wrong with that check because I made so much money. I was brought up and taught that you can't have anything in this life unless you are willing to work for it. And when I tell you I would pull double after double after double after double, I would have 120, 130 hours on my paycheck. And people would think, they'd be like, girl, you are lying. I'd be like, okay, just say that I'm lying. My paycheck is going to say something else. Because when everybody else didn't want to show up, I was in there. Forget, everybody else was going to the club, getting drunk, getting high, messing around with this dude and that dude, doing whatever they was doing. I was making my money, honey. I've always been about getting that coin. These people on YouTube trying to get their coin, honey, I understand. Get your coin. Because I know what it is. I know how it feels. I've always been that type of person to get out there and hustle, but I did it the right way. I didn't do it the illegal way. I didn't lie, cheat, steal, get over on people. I went to my job, and if somebody didn't show up for work, I would tell them, put me on call. And they'll call me. I could just have gotten home, taken a shower, and laid my head down. I could just see that sleep coming. That sleep would be so good to me. But if my phone rang, I was up. I done already took a shower. I'd give me a sandwich and a bag of chips or something, quick. And I'd be out that door. I was about making that money, that dinero, that monedas. I had to get that money, and I would make so much money, it was ridiculous. I I can honestly say there have been times in my life I would be with different dudes and they would get mad at me because I made more money than them. Dude, why is you getting mad? Whatever I make, it ain't just mine, it's yours too. Because I'm that female who will look at a suit and be like, "Ooh, my baby will look good in that. Ooh." And go in there. Of course, I know your measurements. You my man. You're representative of me. So I'm going to make sure you fly in a mug. That's the kind of mentality I had. I go in a place where they have custom suits, give them my man's measurements and say, "I need you to go ahead and I need the tie. I need the handkerchief. I need the shoes to match. I need a shirt to match. I need some cufflinks and I want that suit." That's the kind of female I was. My husband, my man, he didn't have to ask me for nothing. I felt like I'm going to look good. I'm going to have all the stuff that I want to wear. Because down here in the South, we be dressing. Whether you was in church or not in church. The people that went to the club, dressing. The people that was at church, dressing, honey. Had them big church hats on. And let me tell you, them church hats ain't cheap. You get you a cute church hat, you better be prepared to spend a good $150, $200 on that mug. $75 if you was doing good and you knew the people well. Yes, honey, you had to be prepared to come out your pocket with some cash. Because looking good costed you something. And I was one of them type of people. I didn't mind working so that I could get the things that I wanted. Because I already knew nobody was going to give it to me. So since nobody's going to give me what I want, let me go on out here and work and make this money so I can get what I want. And I ain't never got to worry about nobody telling me no. So I had that mentality to work. I had that mentality to hustle and get what I wanted. I had that mentality that I could do what I want, be what I want, accomplish what I want. Now, and this is going to be a different conversation. I've been holding this one conversation for a minute because I know it's going to be controversial. And I know some people are going to be pissed off at me when I say it. But it's okay. People get pissed off at me all the time. They're neighbor as well. They'll get over themselves and they'll move on. When I was a little girl, my father left. He was actually told by the court that he was banned from our hometown for 25 years. And if they caught him in the city limits, they were going to lock his behind up for life. He was a bad dude. He was a bad dude. He was working with some bad people. He had a bad lifestyle. I'm not afraid of anything or anyone because I grew up with pretty much, you might as well say, a straight up gangster as a father. With that being said, my father was not in my life. And the most formative years of my life when I needed a man in my life telling me how beautiful I was, telling me I could accomplish anything, telling me not to allow these dudes to put it in my head, whatever, so they could use me, abuse me, and mistreat me. My father wasn't there. My stepfather was there. And by the way, my stepfather is white. My stepfather and my mother have been together almost 40 years. And I know for some people that's controversial. I know some people, oh God, that is, God, it's a conversation I don't really want to have right now. I'm going to have it eventually. But my stepfather is the first man or woman, person, to tell me you can do anything you want to do. You just have to be prepared to work hard to get what you want in life. My stepfather, a white man, looked at me when I was 10 years old because I grew up during a very hard time for black people. I grew up in the South, in Arkansas, in the country where the Ku Klux Klan was very prevalent, honey. And my stepfather told me, he pointed at my arm and he said, "This is not going to be what stops you from accomplishing things in your life." He said, "Your skin color cannot stop you from accomplishing things in your life." He said, "If you work hard, respect yourself, and respect others, you will go far in this life." This is what a white man told me. He didn't have to tell me that because in all honesty, the way he grew up just like most white people back then. Black folks ain't nothing. I almost said something else, but I ain't going to say that. But he got out in the world and he experienced for himself that everybody is not the same, and you can't lump everybody into one box. So because he learned some things, he was kind enough to impart some of what he learned on me. He had black friends, white friends, Asian friends. He had all kinds of friends. And I'm not just telling you the friends that he had that he told me about. I'm telling you the people who came to our house. Every color came to our house. Anybody was welcome in my mother and my stepdad's home, because in our home there was no such thing as your nationality. You a person and you deserve to be respected. And if anybody got out of line, my stepdad would quickly kick they behind out of his house because he wasn't going for it. His wife was black. He had stepchildren that were black. He had children who were white and Creole, because their mom, his previous wife, she was Creole. So he was not the one for that BS. He wasn't going for it. My step siblings, my siblings and I, we all grew up together. We all learned together. We all were treated with the same type of love and respect together. Now, there was some terrible things that happened back in them days. I ain't gonna even lie, some stuff went down. Who hasn't been in a family where some stuff hadn't gone down? But the person who I am today, and my ability to accept the world, live in this world, and accomplish goals came from a combination of a mother who worked hard, a stepfather who worked hard, a mother who I saw being lifted up out of despair and abuse, and a stepfather who was there to help her accomplish her goals and tell her she could do anything. See, he didn't just tell me that, he told my mother that as well. When my mother first met him, my mother had been the victim of some really terrible, heart-wrenching, horrible abuse that I witnessed with my own two eyes. I can remember a time when my mom was beaten in front of me so terribly that her face, the only thing that I could say that she looked like, it looked like her face looked like ground beef. She was beaten so badly in my face, in front of me. I was 4 years old. This was at the hands of my father, my flesh and blood father. And so, I have a lot of things in me that I can't just talk about all in one setting, because it'll be too long. But there were a lot of things that happened when I was a child, when I was going through my teenage years, in my young adult years, early 20s, my late 20s, all the way up to my early 30s, where I was still beating myself up because I had been told by my family members what I couldn't do. My stepfather and my mom were showing me what I could do, but I was caught in the middle. And it looked, literally, I was trying to please my folks, because my grandmother, she wasn't for that swirling. She wasn't for it. She was not for the black and white. My grandmother, for a long time, she did not like white people, period. And I was like, Mama, you keep talking about God and Jesus. I'm sorry, but I read that Bible too. And the Bible said we're supposed to love one another, and all that other stuff we're supposed to get at to God. And, I told her, I said, you can't expect me to follow this if we're not going to follow it to the letter. That's what I told my grandmother. And I didn't say that out of disrespect. I said it out of love, because you can't expect me to just take what I want out of the Bible, use it, and then just throw away the rest. I'm not that type of person. When I was walking that walk in church and talking that talk, I was for real with it. There wasn't no half-stepping. Now, I'm not as devout a Christian, but I'm still a Christian. I still love the Lord, and I still believe in loving people, but not necessarily loving or condoning their sin. See, I've grown up, so I understand that, nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. And ain't no sense in me pointing a finger at nobody, because while I'm pointing a finger at them, it's 3 of them pointed back at me. So I can't do nothing but say, okay, well, I wouldn't do that if I was you, and this is why I wouldn't do it, and going about my business, because people can do what they want to do. But I've learned over the past 25, 26 years to stop beating myself up. Stop kicking my own ass. I deserve good things in my life just like anyone else. You deserve good things in your life just like anybody else. But the truth of the matter is, you and we will not get what we want in life until we are prepared to make the necessary sacrifices to get it. We have to be prepared to work hard to get what we want in life. We have to be prepared to link up with the right people who can help us go in the directions we want to go in life. We have to be prepared to go educate ourselves to learn something about something so that we can go where we want to go in life. Nothing is going to come to us if we just sit at home and wait on it to come to us. Even though I'm disabled, I'm still thinking in my mind, okay, yeah, I'm finna overcome this. I'm finna overcome this because I had planned I was going to go overseas, stay overseas for a couple of years and, just get some more experience in life and come back and just blow up on something. I've always had that kind of mindset. I want to go to Ireland. I want to go to South Korea. I want to go to Malaysia. I want to go to Malaysia right now. It's just so many different things I want to do, places I want to see. I've already been to Africa. I've already been to Germany, I've already been to Nigeria. I want to go to South Africa, and I want to go to I want to go to Ethiopia for sure. I've actually been invited to Ethiopia by some friends, lady I work with, and she was just crazy about me because I always had her back because the woman worked 3 jobs and she was just cool as a fan. And so she's like, anytime you come to Ethiopia, you need to call me and let me know, because I just want to see you. And so I've learned a lot over the years, and I've learned that it's time for me to stop beating myself up. Anything that I want to do in this world, I can do it. If I put my mind to it and I really want to do it, all I have to do is research what the requirements are and start reaching out to people that I know, making connections and trying to hustle up on the money I need to do what I want to do. That's life. I don't care what it is that you want to do in life. You can do it. It's just you got to have an open heart, an open mind, and a willingness and a desire and a fire to do something. You can't sit back and expect things to come to you. You got to get up, you got to get out there, and you got to be prepared to grab what you want. But it all starts with you first saying, you know what? I deserve this. I deserve to go to different countries. I deserve to see different things. I deserve to buy that house that I've always wanted. I deserve to drive that car that I always wanted. I deserve to have that job that I always wanted. We can do anything we want to do if we get out and work for it. Be prepared to make the sacrifices necessary to get what you want in life. I remember when I first went back to school to work on my business degree, one of the first classes I took, it taught you that you have to make sacrifices in order to accomplish your goal of getting your degree. You got to sacrifice your time with your family. You got to sacrifice your time with your friends. You got to sacrifice your time with sleep. You got to sacrifice your me time, because those luxuries, you have to make those sacrifices, especially if you're older and you have a family and you work. You have to make those sacrifices in order to accomplish something that you probably should have accomplished when you were younger and you didn't have the other responsibilities. So now you've got a family, you've got to work, you have friends, you have a life, but you want to go to school and you want to make something of yourself. You want to do more. You want to add something more to your name and under your belt. You have to be prepared to make sacrifices. Even the higher ups in the upper echelons of society, they're prepared and willing to make whatever sacrifice they have to make. Now, I don't agree with their sacrifices, but they may be prepared to make a sacrifice to get what they want, to move up to another level. In anything that you want in life, you have to prepare yourself to make the necessary sacrifices to get what you want out of life. Now, I'm going to go ahead and close this because I could just talk on forever and ever. You are worth more than you could ever imagine. You are better. You are much better, more so than you could ever imagine. You deserve all the good things that God has created in this life. But the only way that you're going to be able to tap into those things is if you first accept that you deserve good things in your life. If you first acknowledge that there's something not quite right in your life, you point out what it is that's not right, and you start looking for ways to fix it. The first way that you will accomplish any goal in life is that you first must acknowledge that there is something wrong. And when you make that acknowledgement and you accept the fact that there's something wrong, and you come to a realization that, hey, I need to do something to fix this, and you actively seek a solution, you can change your life for the better. You can accomplish the goals that you want, and you can be a whole and a better person. That's all I have to say for this episode. I want to thank you. If you took the time to listen to this episode to its entirety, thank you so much. I'm just starting out just like everyone else, trying to build myself on YouTube. I'm trying to bring something positive to YouTube. And my way of doing things is not going to be like everybody else. Yeah, I'm going to joke. I'm going to do little silly stuff. And I might even do a few rants and raves and all kinds of stuff like that. But ultimately, my goal is to do and be better and accomplish more. That's my goal. Do, be better, accomplish more. Thank you guys so much for joining me with Matters of the Heart. This is D with Black Conspiracy TV, BAD-TV. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please make sure you leave comments. If you have questions, be sure to leave questions. If there's anything that you would like for me to talk about, be sure to leave that in the comments section. Make sure you select the like, the share, and the subscribe buttons, and go ahead and hit that notification button so that you can get my next episodes as soon as they become available. Thank you so much, guys, for stopping by. I sincerely appreciate you. You have a blessed day. And Black people, as always, keep your eyes open and your ears sharp. See you guys later.